All right, 7 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. First up on the agenda, Cemetery Committee, with your budget.
I gave each of you a copy.
Yep.
Okay. And basically, we're asking for the same amount of money. We're not asking for any increases. And the same budget, no increases. So it's 31,515. And we know we can stay within that, so.
Are the basic categories the same as your request last year? I haven't had a chance to pull it
Yeah,
up.
exactly the same.
Yep.
Mhm.
And will there be a need for anything to be encumbered this year? I know that we had that one.
I've done that in the past.
Yeah.
Not this year.
Okay, great, everything's pretty much on pace.
Yeah.
It's not a problem, we can always address it in December if there's a need for it.
Okay.
Great, those are my couple questions I have.
Did your expenses go up at all for this year from last?
No, we did some work at the.
Hilton, and the ground was hard enough that we could get the work done.
We had to wait until August because it was very muddy right at the beginning. So the problem, probably we should ask the town to fix at some point.
Are you talking about the front, the beginning of the road for the hill?
Yeah. That's not on our property, it's on.
It's on the sellers, actually, is it on ours or the sellers?
It's kind of ambiguous, because it's like right at that.
I'm sure I can ask the sellers just to make sure. But you're talking about where the big,
You go,
yeah, I mean, the ground is basically divoted and
Yeah.
chewed up for, yeah.
that's why
We had to wait.
either August to get so that the tree trucks could get down, or if the ground is frozen.
Otherwise, the trucks would just damage.
Right. I wonder if we can ask Brian if he can just go in there and basically grade it out for the entrance. Do you guys need some crushed gravel at the front end?
So I think that might be the solution.
I'll ask Brian about that.
Something that won't make more money.
Yeah, oh, no, I'm with you.
No more dirt.
But yeah, I'll talk to him about that, and see if, I mean, with a little luck, he'll do it basically as gratis, or if not, I'll just get a quote for it. I'm sure it won't be a whole lot of money, but I know we need to do it. I mean, when I go down there, I know you're always avoiding that section of the lawn there, so.
But we're lucky though, they get a lot of work done.
Yeah, they do. And what we'd like to do eventually is tie up the garden clubs.
Alan,
Woodland path.
Looks great, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. And put maybe a crosswalk of some kind, and just paint it on the road.
That's a town road, so we'll have some flexibility to do that.
And then with some signage, which we're already working on, the garden club anyway. And pointing over to the Hilton Cemetery so that people will kind of naturally, if they're doing a nice walk in town, will be able to continue the
Follow the
flow.
And probably possibly some of the entrance.
Yeah. Mhm.
That'd be great, that'd be great. Okay, any other questions?
Where are you going?
You guys are, and kudos for you for staying on last year's budget. I know it's not going to be easy for most people, but every little bit helps, so thank you very much for your work. Really appreciate that. Great. Well, thank you. They have 15 minutes. We have other work to do. But don't worry about it.
You'll be here.
So, whilst we wait, let's see here, Climax solid waste contracts. Let's jump down to, let's not get into the insurance, that might take a little longer. The solid waste contract, I'll jump down to that. You guys can look at that with Elm. Hopefully you've had a chance to look through that. It's a fairly simple contract. It is a 3-year contract for 2023 through the end of 2025. The fixed fees are indicated in section 11, so we're not paying by the tonnage for this contract. It's just a fixed number for the year, which is great. I mean, these numbers are much lower than we were paying just a few years ago. So, this is certainly something where was a growing budget concern has really turned into something that is far more manageable budget-wise for us, I think.
I think the other thing, Michael, there's no fuel surcharge.
Correct.
That's huge.
Right, no fuel surcharges here. It's fairly straightforward. The only thing I noted is that in section 1.4, he has the wrong town listed.
And he has the wrong date in 1/3.
Oh, yes, the July 1, right? It ends December 31st, 2025, but it begins January 1.
Right, and it's correct in section 2.
Yes, that's the one I noticed, but yeah, good catch on that. Any other items that you guys noted, had questions about, or concerns about?
The big thing that I saw in there, I'm happy to see there's no bagging requirement for in the containers.
Yep.
So instead of having to waste money on contractor bags and those going into the landfill and sitting there for 75 years, we wiped that problem away.
Yeah, he does have, there is a limit of 4 30-gallon covered cans, but I can't imagine any residential on a regular basis exceeding that. I don't anticipate that will be a problem, and I don't think that's worth us pushing back on at this point in time.
And the other two Casella and Waste Management were single 96.
96,
gallon
correct.
containers. So
Correct.
let's see, the Orange Marine Management, it was 120. So
Yep.
that'd be a lot of trash to be
Yep.
coming out for one day.
He has the town, the one thing that I did note that I have to just ask him about, I'm sure that they'll be willing to do on a cost basis is, Waste Management was collecting, and Waste Management would provide trucks at an additional cost, but for our spring cleanup down, probably just want a commitment that they'll provide the trucks. It'll be an additional charge over and above this, and we typically budget for that, but I'm sure he won't have a problem putting that in. But it's the one thing that I noted that needs to also be put in.
And we'll note that he's changing, so pickup will now be on Mondays.
Mondays,
For both
yep.
recycling and
Right.
trash.
I'm sure he wants to do that for an efficiency standpoint, which is great.
Good for me.
All right. What I'll do is I'll reach back to Jim to get these changes, and I'll also forward it to our legal counsel just to take a quick look. But otherwise, this is great, and I think we'll move quickly to get this done well before the end of the year. Okay, great. How are you?
Good, are you?
All right, that's the Elm contract. Town assessor's contract. Here we go. So this is for our regular update of assessing. According to the note here, this was reviewed by DRA, correct? And approved by them. This is basically for the assessment update. We do a regular, is it every 5 years? Every 3 years?
I'm not sure.
There's a regular reassessment of property in town. And this is for that update, which will take place for 2023. Any questions or issues? I mean, we can always defer this until the next meeting if you guys want a chance to look over it in more detail.
I would be more comfortable with that.
Sure. So why don't we defer this until next meeting? We just need to have this done by the end of the year, I believe, correct? Do you know? I think it's just by the end of the year.
That's not showing. I think so. I think there wasn't any hurrying when we gave it to
Great. So we'll defer that until the next meeting, just so that everyone's on the same page. Okay. Let's see here. Property repurchase. So, there was a property that the town took several years ago for past due taxes. The owners are interested in repurchasing this. This is a small parcel with nothing on it, down on Main Street by the railroad tracks. So they have provided a notice that they are interested in repurchasing. Any questions about this? More notification than anything else, they have the right to repurchase.
They do have the right to repurchase?
What's that?
They do have.
Yeah, they have a right to repurchase, and they're exercising that. And so they're just gonna, you know, again, this is more informative, but if there's any questions, you can ask them now. You guys good with that?
How do we make out on that financially?
Well, we get all the unpaid taxes,
Yeah.
which is great, always good, and for a property like that, it's not really buildable.
Was it 0.8, 0.7, something like that?
Yeah, but it's a tiny parcel, but it's,
Triangle.
yeah, it's down by the railroad track, and I'm not even sure they could put a structure on it, given the shape of the property, setbacks, and the other issues with it. But, you know, they were interested in reacquiring it, so, you know, for us, it's better than us just holding land in inventory and not getting taxed on it. Okay? That. Mr. Free. Hi. Are you guys ready to talk about your budget?
Sure.
We'll jump back to you guys. Thank you.
Sue mentioned that the assessors every 5 years.
The what?
The assessors conference every 5 years.
Every 5 years.
But the assessment is due every 3 years.
I'm not sure how often they do a reassessment of the entire town. They provide assessment services on a regular basis, and when people in town come back and say, my assessment's not right, or they're looking for a change in their taxes. And the Wood and Associates under the contract is the one who does the evaluations of the town and makes recommendations for any revals of property on an ongoing basis, but they also do the regular reassessment when that is due on a regular basis.
I feel like it would just reassess. Like I got the card that says we're being assessed, and I feel like we just did that less than 5 years ago. Unless do they assess the properties on a rotating schedule?
No, I think they do a reassessment of everything in town. I know it was several years ago. I don't know if it was 3 years ago or 4, or I can't remember.
I just remember getting it thinking.
Because I remember when my taxes went up. So, all right, library. Sorry to interrupt you there, guys.
Yeah.
So first page is the numbers of just what we're proposing. Some history towards the bottom. Second page is comps of director position, children's librarian positions, and library assistants. And the towns comparable size to ours, libraries comparable size based on population. On the back page, in directors it shows, do they give benefits? And then children's librarians, we don't have one currently. The libraries that we have usually it's a specialized field person, but we just have 2 library assistants, so we'll get to that. But what we're proposing, we looked at the consumer price index and based our budget on that. It's currently at 8.5%. In discussing this along the way with our director, we want to take care of the people that we have doing very well. I apologize, I did not bring any kind of, from our director's reports, but I can get it to you, just showing the visits, the number of visits we have, circulation update. We check that every month. And I'd ask Carl if he could just put it together in some pie charts over the last couple of years. So you guys can kind of see, oh, heck, because it's always been the intention, hey, if we're gonna build it, they will come and rent a deal, right? Don't overspend if you don't have people showing up. To be honest with you, 2019 was the high point for us. Obviously, then 2020 was COVID. We came into that budget, we made it flat for that year. Last year, we did about a 2% raise, which is on the first page. You can see it goes down at 21 budget, 22, and a proposed 23. We're getting back up there. Good news. I think probably you guys all know what goes on in the library, but I mean, Carl, Brittany, and Corey have done a great job maintaining our services, and that's kind of the goal all along, right? Whether it's take home grass or whatever, but we're slowly climbing back up to where we were in 2019, with visits and circulation and things like that. So he's stoked on that. I think we'll have a great Halloween celebration again, which always drives more people to come in. And getting back to some of our other things that drove people in there, which was books and babies, books for babies. I forget exactly what it's called. Books for babies, where people knew a lot of babies in town come and get books in their name. But this drives new membership, so constantly striving for that. And the good news is we're getting more people coming back to programs, like outdoor movie nights and some of the things we had just recently in here, really successful. So we're getting back up there, but that's one of the things we want to do. That said, we looked at it and said, hey, you know, inflation, what are we doing here? How do we maintain our employees? That's the number one thing. It's really hard to do. We have an open dialogue with the director about his intentions. He'll be the first one to tell you he's not getting any under these days, right? And he's always looking out for us. And you can see in red, right under the proposed budget there in the middle, you know, he thought adding hours to director level for future planning would be good. And this is future, not this year, but the future. This year, no change in the number of hours. We're open 35, but we do 57 for our employees because there's a lot of work that goes on outside of your day-to-day stuff right there. You need time when people are coming in. It's a social library. You need to have time for people to talk to you and do things. And we take that time. That's what our library is about. It's not so much of a, you know, study, read, research there. So we take that time, but then it allows them to do different things outside after work, after their hours, which they budget in. But no change in opening hours. We discussed that. We decided there's no need for that. And no change in terms of the number of hours everybody works. But we looked to do an increase based on, again, the CPI, and said, okay, what would that be? And I did roughly 6.5% for everybody, kind of blanketed in there. And it came out to $1.60 for Carl, $1 for Corey and Brittany, for each of those. Which, if you look at that, you can see where they competitively say against probably East Kingston. The closest, really. We're in the neighborhood of where we're competitive, which is great. So we're pretty happy with that. And sorry, these numbers are for 2021. So we don't know what any libraries are doing now, right? So I can't tell you if they're going up or not. We assume so because of inflation, and I think everybody's struggling to hire people and find people, right? And we're pretty lucky because we have open dialogue and staff meetings, and everybody said they're happy and really, you know they like their positions. Like Brittany Thompson's over here, so it's my last name, Brittany. She is happy with the amount of hours she works. She doesn't want to increase the hours. We actually kind of try to persuade her, would you ever think of doing a director level? She said no. She's like, I'm happy with a little bit that I do. Same with Corey. She's got other gigs. So it's part-time. And there's no benefit. We're lucky with Carl because he's super experienced and has his benefits from his previous working situation. So he's good to go. Like, you might want to consider that again for the future. Not for this fiscal year, but something about it. And just, again, he thought, a children's library, if you get somebody really enthusiastic, could drive our business up, right? So maybe in the future, if you're looking at an assistant library, maybe a children's library, because he says in a small town like us, that's what really brings in the people. That brings kids are where we get the most bang for the buck. And We're gonna do more outreach now at the school this coming, well, this year we're starting to, but more outreach with them, because that obviously through COVID slid down too. And that's where we go. In the bulk of our come in. So, that's where we ended up, and if you guys have any questions, chat to them, answer.
Next one.
Definitely. No, it's anything. Thoughts, comments, concerns?
Questions? No. Good.
Jay?
Sounds good.
No?
Matthew?
No, Carl's been very enthusiastic about the number of new families coming to town and using library, getting introduced to the library with young children. She's said that he's very surprised that there are that many coming on their own into the library. As soon as they come to town, they come to the library.
Do you have a good amount of children's programming right now, or are you guys growing that?
Yeah, we do. I think we do story hour. I think Carl will do it off and on. We were doing it outside during the summer. I don't know what the plan is right now in the fall and winter. So I don't know the answer to that, but I mean, we've done movie nights, and they have the last one, the cartoon, which we see. We got a lot of people doing that. But there's a bunch of things that we'll say about everything right next month.
Did Carl indicate what, or have you had a conversation about how many hours you probably need to add if and when, you know, it's not Carl anymore?
No, he didn't tell us hours. He just said, you know, make it.
Okay. I was just curious, just from a...
That was really hard to find Carl. That was a big thing back at home.
Well, you guys went through a whole process, right?
And he'll be a good resource when the time comes, I think, to find another qualified person. He's got a lot of contacts.
Oh, good, good. All right. Looks good, gentlemen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Two down. Many more to go. All right, so, I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at the Primex and Health Trust notices. I'll do the Primex first real quick. So, property and liability, this Primex, we get that insurance through them. There's an increase on the property and liability. There's a decrease on the workers' comp. Any questions about those items?
So Michael, on both of these Primex and Health Trust, are these usually end up being a single bid that comes in, or request for bids put out?
So Primex,
Single source?
Primex is basically the insurance provider for municipalities
Understood.
in the state.
Is there any competition?
Not really, because their rates are just much, much lower than you're gonna find in the private market for something like this. You know, what you see here, you know, the amounts, we're looking at a $2,200 increase on the property and liability, but an $1,100 drop on the workers' comp. So we're looking at about $1,000 more for those coverages. And then on the unemployment compensation, it's basically the same rate. You know, the $13 reduction is what the estimate there, which is nominal. But yeah, to your point, typically nobody even comes close
Okay.
on this stuff. Any other questions with respect to Primex? On the Health Trust, I'm sure this will be an ongoing discussion, obviously, because I know that you were looking at other health insurance, correct?
I think we decided just with everything else going on to just.
Oh, really?
Status quo.
Oh, okay. So, with respect to this, we have a rate adjustment of 5.2%, 1.5% on the dental coverage, 3.2% on short-term disability, no rate change on long-term disability, and no rate change on the life coverage. I mean, overall, actually, given what's going on in the world, I was actually quite surprised, pleasantly surprised that the rate changes are not very substantial with respect to
Did
this.
you see, it looks like, I read into that as well, looks like the overall health trust for the state of Hampshire went up 5.2, ours went up 11.7.
Oh, ours went up 11.7.
Ours went up 11.7.
Oh, I missed that. Where, you remember group's rate will change will vary from this.
Right. Not the way it's at.
What's that? Oh, on the, thank you. So, okay, so we're going up 11%. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the overall. I think it's something we should have, how much ours got up.
Yep. Any questions? I mean, it's health insurance. We're usually looking at packages, obviously, to reflect the things that the employees are looking for. In that context,
Will we change our contribution to help absorb some of that?
I think that'll come up in the discussions with the various departments, in terms of how we're gonna be allocating what's coming directly from the town and what's coming from employees. We can look at those changes.
How many employees do we have currently?
How many are 5? 4 the police and Sue. In the past, it's varied somewhere between 3 and I think 5 total employees over the course of the
Well,
launch.
I'm sorry, it's total 4, Kevin doesn't take health insurance.
Oh, that's right.
My bad.
Yep. Okay. But yeah, it's been in that range. I mean, we're never a large pool, so it's never a situation where we can do anything but kind of ride the tide, so to speak. All right. Great. Thank you for those two. We adopt veterans tax credit. So this was something we need to re-adopt the veterans tax credit on a warrant. We have to do this on a warrant, correct? For next year.
Yeah.
So we'll have that language written up, but this is on. This is under our new RSA. I think the DRA is requesting that we pass a new warrant article, and so that will be more informative than we have to do anything here tonight. We'll probably, as we go through the budget and warrant articles towards the end of our budget process, we'll come up with the specific language of that to just update it to reflect the new state statutes. Okay. Before we get into the prior meeting minutes, 2 things. One is elections coming up November 8th.
Yes.
I'll be attending. I don't know what you guys have. Hope you'll be here. If you can't make it, don't forget we can always appoint somebody to represent you at the election. So I don't know.
I've already, Phyllis will be here for me, she
Oh.
has to be in Boston.
Great.
But I'll be back on Monday.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Good. So just wanted to make sure that that's addressed. The other issue I want to raise here that wasn't on the schedule, on the agenda, is real quick, this came in. So, and this is, again, more informative, there's no action that we need to take. The Levante Trust, which owns the property down by the river, they were kind enough to inform us that they'll be submitting to the Department of Environmental Services to build a dock on the river. It's got a 10 by 20 float. This is the small campsite, isn't it? Do you know? I'm pretty sure it is. If you go down on the river by the campground, just past the campground, there's a small shack on the river. I think they bought that at auction. I think it was up for sale last year. But it looks like they're going to build or at least apply to build a dock on that. And they were kind enough just to let us know. But I don't know if you guys have any questions about that. Again, more informative than anything else. Okay. Minutes from October 11th. You guys want to take a quick look at those?
heard back from Brian about Old Lee?
I have not, nor have I heard from Dr. Hill about questions about it. You're talking about, oh, I'm sorry, the patching on Old Lee.
Yeah.
No, I have not heard about that. I thought you meant when they came and talked, oh, was that Bald Hill?
No, it's
Okay.
Bobby Kelly with the,
No.
Yeah.
that's the one you're talking about.
That's what Jackie raised. I was thinking about the Bald Hill one, well, no, not Bald Hill, it was, Hall's
Dr. Hill
Mill.
came in and she was talking
Hall's
about
Mill.
that.
Yeah, Hall's Mill. That one I haven't heard anything about. I have not heard back from Brian though about Old Lee.
And he started, was it this week on the 25th, I think?
I think he's doing it this week, yeah, Bald Hill, which includes the intersection at Bald Hill.
Team the intersection.
Yeah. Correct.
So are you going to reach out to Brian again about those things?
Yes,
or-
and I will. I'll reach out to him again. I haven't heard back.
Because it's been more than 2 weeks, so I just want to.
No, understood. And again, I think it's more, that's going to be a patch job than a reconstruction. Of the
I think that's all they wanted.
Yep.
You know, just,
Yep.
it seems to be a safety issue.
Yep.
so.
I'm going to talk to him about the entrance to the Hilton, and I'll ask him again about the Old Lake piece.
Any update on his?
No. I think as I mentioned, Derek was reaching back to Chris Hilton, the lawyer for Hazel, but he hadn't heard back, which is not a surprise. So that's just continuing on towards the sheriff auction, which is on the sheriff's timetable. Oh, and regarding the rink, so I've asked Sue to check on the insurance cost of the rink. The rink is in great shape. It's a 50 by 80 rink. I picked it up over the weekend and we're storing it right now underneath the water department. And we'll see what insurance requirements and costs are, and I'll reach out, now that we know that we have it, I'll reach out to Derek to see if he has any legal liability concerns that won't be addressed by the insurance, but with a little luck, we'll be able to get that up on the seller's property and be able to have that available for public skate.
And the sellers agree to it.
Yes, yep. Any edits, questions about the meeting minutes for Tuesday, October 11th? I will move the minutes as written for Tuesday, October 11th, 2022. All in favor? Second. Thank you, Rob. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. I think that's it.
You know, one more thing.
Yeah.
I've had a couple folks in town talking about when they're watching the videos
Mhm.
online, that they cannot hear people speaking.
Yep.
They're in the audience and requesting to do something, and I think the easiest way to do it is somehow a microphone, because you have it back to the microphone. They said it's not hard to hear the people on the select board talking, the folks in town, and I don't know how you want to handle that.
Yeah, we've done a few things in the past.
I'm sorry? Becky?
We had a microphone in the past and it provided too much feedback.
Yeah, and that was the ongoing issue. We're looking to getting a better mic, probably upgrade the mic. I'll talk to the town hall streams guys, see if they have any recommendations.
And the problem is it's so echoey in here. That's the other
Yes.
thing that makes it hard.
Yeah, I mean, one way to address it, not that we necessarily, if we could go back to the selectmen's room, because the acoustics in there are far better because of echo factor right here. That's one way to address it. But I'll reach out to them and I'll see if there are better options in terms of the microphones. Or, if they can can recommend something to do to address the feedback if we get a second mic. All right.
I wanted to make a motion to accept the letter from Vernon Farms attorney providing documentation that they have reached the 35% threshold in light of the planning board meeting on Thursday and some of the responses we have received from residents regarding what happened on Thursday night. I think it would be appropriate to cool the temperature and accept the documentation from both the lawyer and their accountant saying that they have met this threshold and move past that piece of this issue right now.
I'm not sure that that's for this board to address since it's before the planning board.
Correct, but I had spoken with Derek and he said if there is disagreement with the planning board and the select board, then that is something that needs to be resolved before he can go ahead and work with Amy on it.
I still think that there are outstanding questions at the planning board, and personally, I'm unwilling to usurp their role and responsibility in this matter.
And I would have to read the letter in more detail and with greater focus on it before I go and move ahead on that.
So my concern is that this is going to cost the town because my understanding is that they are meeting on Thursday. So this is a timely motion to alleviate that stress and that financial burden that we are placing on both the town and the Vernons for something that has already been documented and is really not in the purview of the town to require from the farm, as stated by the Commissioner of Agriculture.
Did you raise this with the chairman of the planning board or the consultant of the planning board?
I tried to reach out to Glenn. I keep wanting to call him Gary, but Glenn. He has not returned my email. And this is my understanding from the town attorney. So given that we have ultimate control over how the spending is done, we have the final say in that. I don't believe it's a good use of town funds to litigate this, where they have already provided the documentation to both us and the planning board regarding this 35%. And Hobie, I do believe that you received that letter too.
I'm sorry?
I believe you received that letter too. It was sent to the select board back in September.
Before I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to have to review it in more detail.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second? Hearing none, we'll move on. Do you have anything?
I'm just here to consult everyone.
Oh, great.
Trying to get more involved, and so being your person solving.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for attending. All right. Any other business to come before the board? No? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Thank you very much. All right. Keisha, I'm going to give you this contract back.
Okay.
This contract back, which we'll address next time. And then this was the,
Oh, yeah, that's it.
that, yeah, and I'm sure that's just going to go into the
Okay,
file.
and Sue wanted me to, I didn't want to interrupt, the assessment is
Every 5.
every 5, and 2023 is our year to,
Do the full reassessment?
yes.
Great.
Seems like it.
Thank you.